Hello and welcome you crazy people to Tabletop Oddity, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about Kill Team. Now I may have briefly mentioned it a while back, but we've had like the proper reveal or spoiled, whatever you want to call it, from Games Workshop themselves. So I'll just get onto this page because I realise I'm wearing a white shirt and everything's very bright. So we'll get onto the Kill Team page so we can have a look at something instead of just me. Although I am quite pretty to look at, I'm sure you can all agree. It's Kill Team. Let me explain what it is for those of you who are coming from like a Legion or an X-Wing background. Obviously, you're probably aware of Warhammer 40k. It's one of the biggest games out there, and that's a full-on proper war game in the same sense of Legion. Now, what Kill Team is a skirmish game. So instead of 30 to 100 models, it actually mentions between like 5 and 10 models. And I think it sounds like it's on a 2x2 board, so 2 foot by 2 foot board. Sort of like reminiscent, I guess, more like X-Wing, although X-Wing's obviously the number of models is fewer than that generally on average. But a 2x2 board, your characters have got stats and stuff like that, and it's a skirmish game like that. So that explains sort of what it is, and we'll go through what's actually been revealed. I'm personally quite excited about this. I'm a little bit upset about the timing. I thought it was going to be the end of the year. Instead, it looks like it's going to be July, which is good and bad because then X-Wing's going to come out and my wallet's going to suffer. But for now, let's have a look at Kill Team. So what have we got? Well, there's a new trailer today, which is basically like a World War II, your country needs you kind of trailer, and quite frankly, we're not going to watch that. If you want to watch that, you can just go on the community page itself and watch it. You know, I'm not your parents. Do what you like. So the game you've been waiting for, I actually think it is probably the game I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for a skirmish game using like people instead of like ships, but we'll see how good they are. And I've been waiting for one that's going to be super popular, well played, and good, hopefully. So I'm thinking this game might be this. That's the trailer again there, I think. It goes through a lot of different things. I'm not going to read everything to you, as if you want to read everything, you can obviously go and read it. But what is a Kill Team? So it's a Kill Team is a squad of elite warriors handpicked by you, and it consists of 5 to 10 individuals. So basically, you don't have to have squads of, one squad of here that uses the Space Marines. So you don't have to have 5 units of Reavers. You can literally just pick 2 of the Reavers or 2 sniper rifle people or what have you. And that goes across, I think they say there's 16 different factions. So, you can just pick a handful of those favourite models. That will be a little bit difficult. In some sense, it could end up getting a bit pay to win if, for example, the best models are the ones that you have to buy maybe like a box of 10 for and you only want 1. But I'm jumping the gun there. This is a potential problem that's not even properly talked about. You could obviously just proxy it or kit bash it kind of thing. Kill teams can be used in one-off missions or in campaigns. So the campaigns sound a lot like Frostgrave. For those of you who don't know, Frostgrave, it's a skirmish game, but it's on a big table, and generally between 5 and 10 players, I think, characters. But you have a wizard on that, and your wizard like levels up. You get different spells. All your people are leveling up. It sounds like Kill Team is sort of taking that on board as well. For the more casual side of things, you can do a campaign, and there's rules for leveling up and all that kind of stuff. I guess like Blood Bowl, or there's these one-off missions, and the one-off missions are basically going to be, I presume, the competitive missions. I'm not 100. I think Demolitions, I think, is just one of the characters, or it could be one of the missions. I'm not 100% sure exactly. Yeah, I think that's just a character, and you can take those upgrades. Not going to go necessarily through these upgrades. Again, it's too early to be like talking about who's the best and what's the best upgrade and stuff. It just shows that you can upgrade your characters. I believe in one of the first trailers, it actually said that if you in the matched play, so competitive play, you only can take the level 1 versions of these. So keep that in mind. You won't be getting to customize them too much, but I'm sure you'll have enough customization in that sense. And it talks about the rules. The key thing here is alternating activations. So a little bit like Legion, I go, then you go, then I go, then you go. This is sort of different for a lot of Warhammer games, like in 40k and Age of Sigmar. It's all of my units go, and then all of your units go, and that's a turn. In this case, it's going to be I'm going to go, one of my guys is going to go, one of your guys is going to go. Definitely like Legion. X-Wing is sort of like that, except obviously it's initiative based, so not quite, but you get the gist. Terrain talks about terrain. It's basically all the standard city-based terrain that they're actually releasing. Here they say, kill teams are actually played on a 22 by 30 inch board, so not quite 2 by 2. It's an awkward number, that, isn't it? 20. I'm not 100% sure. Presumably, maybe that's so that one side you could have your cards or stuff. Who knows? That's actually more like a 2 by 3. I thought it was 2 by 2, but obviously I've just noticed that there. Fair enough. It's close quarters anyway. I'm sure with the decently packed terrain and stuff like that, the board size will make sense. Talks about tactics here. I don't necessarily want to go through each individual rule set. I don't want to talk about it too much because I'm not doing a deep dive into this just yet. But the missions, it says here, the mission could be planting a bomb or to slaying a specific VIP, sabotaging supply lines. So the missions, to me, it sort of suggests this is going to be a skirmish game with individual models. In the sense of Legion has missions and objectives, that's what this is going to have. These tactics, I'm presuming, are a way of, just specializing your team in specific ways. But, as I said, I'm not trying to go into it too deep. Interestingly, something that a lot of people will like, I think. A lot of games these days don't really have easy ways to play with more than one opponent. So it's me and a friend, but somebody else, there's a third person there. You have to sort of budge together the rules, and they don't really end up working very well because the game's not designed for that. In this sense, they're saying that the game here is up for, 2 to 4 players, I guess, is the best way of saying this. And it says it's balanced with that in mind, I think, pretty much. You'll find the game just as balanced. We'll see, GW, we will see about that because you've not necessarily historically been great at that. And then it uses these 3 sort of mechanisms from, I think 40k and Age of Sigmar have this. Open, narrative, and match play. Open is basically you just take what you want. Like nobody really cares, which I always find a little bit weird. Narrative is basically like trying to make the campaign, and I think a lot of people will like that one in this sense because it's sort of built into the rules. And match play is the competitive, this is your basic set of rules that you have to adhere by. Everybody's got a point. Everything's sort of designed to be a bit more balanced, kind of thing. And they do mention here ongoing support, and this is why I'm personally very interested. We've had Necromunda, we had Shadow War Armageddon, I think it was. Basically, GW seemed to be making a lot of skirmish games, and they seemed a bit unsure of the direction. And it seems like what they're trying to do, they're like, we realise now we need a 140k skirmish game, and this is the plan to be it. So they talk about it should be, they're going to have stuff to give to the stores and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, in the FAQ, I think they're going to say they're going to support it for a few years. So on the actual core box set that we're going to get, I'm not sure of the name of it. I think it's probably going to be the core set. It's very interesting and also confusing in my mind, because it actually includes terrain, and the terrain I can't imagine being that inexpensive, shall we say, but I think it includes like 2 kill teams maybe, or at least 1, 2 I think, but you get the tokens and stuff like that. Those tokens, I presume, will be available in specific box sets of specific kill teams, but obviously they've said here you can buy just the core manual and the kill team perhaps, and you won't necessarily need this core set. They're not calling it the core set, they're calling it the box set. So there mustn't be anything in here that you 100% need and can't buy elsewhere. Otherwise, it would be the core set. And I'm pretty sure if you 100% needed it, they wouldn't sell the terrain. I don't like the fact that the terrain is in there. I feel like they should have done one like this, but without the terrain. You do get the mat as well, which is actually a board. I think it's a double-sided folding card game board. So that's interesting. I think I'm looking probably maybe 100 quid for that part, perhaps, maybe. Then, interestingly, they sell just the manual on its own. It's designed so that if you already have the models, you don't need to buy the kill team. You can just pick up the core manual and play. These kill zones are basically kits that include some terrain, the cardboard board, like the mat, basically, which isn't actually a mat, but sort of like a mat. And I'm not some unique missions and stuff like that. How that will work with the competitive side of things, I don't know. Maybe it'll be like in Legion where you each player can take someone they're randomly selected. That'd add like a little bit of depth. The kill teams themselves, these are essentially just kits. Well, this one's actually including number 5, I'm not really sure. A set of Sector Mechanicus galvanic server haulers. It seems a bit dramatic. I can't imagine these being cheap. These kill teams are basically coming with terrain. I mean, I understand that you need terrain, but trying to just throw terrain in everything seems a bit wonky to me. But, you know, I'm not in charge of the game, I guess. But yeah, you get all your cards and your special rules and your tokens for that army. I find it a bit. I feel like even though you're not supposed to need the box set, getting all of the tokens suitable for an army will probably require one of these. Whether or not you can just buy the tokens and stuff, we'll have to wait and see. Including terrain in them, again, not 100% convinced that this talks about the terrain. I'm sort of getting a Shadow War Armageddon vibe about this, where it's all about selling the terrain. Hopefully that's not the case. The accessories do look pretty nice. Little storage for your miniatures, dice. The data cards. Also, the data cards, I think... they're the blank data cards. Okay, fair enough. I was like, maybe they're going to sell them specifically per army. They're not. Those are the different factions that you can get straight away. I didn't count them up. I thought I read 16, but I might not have done. But yeah, all your standard armies are pretty much... I'm sure there's somebody here that's missing, and a 40k fan will be desperately annoyed about that. But I'm sure they'll add them as we go. So let's have a look at the Q&A. There's not too much of interest in here. If you want to just obviously pick it up and have a look, just talks about how you can get the core manual either in the box set or individually. That's completely fine. There's a few things where it says like, can I use my Forge World stuff? And there are some ways that you can use your Forge World stuff. Talks here about how each faction gets 1 to 6 specifically chosen data sheets to choose from. That's all well and good. You know, they said they're going to support, finally, we'll be supporting, well, they don't say finally, but we'll be supporting for years to come. So in theory, you know, this is a game that GW shouldn't be ditching. Then it talks about what is Kill Team Rogue Trader. That was like, people were been mentioning recently that it's actually part of Kill Team. It sort of sounds like they're going to do expansions like that, and they basically hint that there's more than that to come. And what else are we going to be looking at here? You can't use Necromunda. They say Necromunda is pretty much something else. It's not really the same kind of universe. That's meant to be like ruffians, and this is trained soldiers. Will there be one for Age of Sigmar? They say pretty much no. There's no app. They say that. Organized play, they say they've got lots of plans, so we'll have to wait. Stay tuned. You can get the rules digitally. Nothing, to me, amazingly stands out there, but that's just my take on it. It's very interesting that all of the terrain is getting packaged with the kill teams. I hope that isn't like a requirement. I hope that you can literally just, you know, buy the rule book, buy the models and play. Although in the kill teams they had like little tokens, very X-wingy. I'm sorry, this is so bright. I'm like illuminous. Very X-wingy in the token sense. But I've been waiting for a very good, competitive, well-supported skirmish game. And I hope that this is it. My instinct, I'm happy about it. I'm very happy about it. Not happy with the timing. It's you can pre-order at the end of July, end of this month, I think. So probably early August for release. I'm a little bit apprehensive about them sticking terrain in absolutely everything. Like, I understand you're saying terrain is important in the game, but I don't want to have to buy yours. Like, I'm happy making my own or fudging some sort of terrain. So that does worry me a little bit. I say that's my only concern right now. Pretty happy. We'll have to, obviously the cost is interesting, but I suspect the digital rulebook will be like 20 quid and the dice probably 10 quid. I probably need them two alone. And then I've got some like First Strike Space Marines that I can probably just play a game with. So we'll have to wait and see how that actually goes. Because I imagine those kill teams with 5 models and a bit of terrain, you're looking at 30 to 50 quid would be my guess, but we'll have to wait and see. Let me know your thoughts. So channel wise, Legion X-Wing nailed on. This game is one that I was possibly going to play in the future, but turns out it's not the future, it's very soon. So I'm probably just going to try it, see if I like it, and we'll see how it goes from there. Don't worry, I'm not ditching Legion or anything like that. Let me know your thoughts. Are you interested in this game? I've always wanted a decent skirmish game that's been fun, so we'll see if this is one of them. And yeah, like, oh, I can't find my mouse. Yeah, so let me know your thoughts. Have a most beautiful day. Do like and subscribe if you're interested in more of this or anything else, or just me, then do that. Otherwise, have a most beautiful day and goodbye. Bye, guys.